Wow, remember the old days? We go to the grocery store 3 or 4 times a week? Now it's 1 day a week. So we gotta load up. This recipe today we're gonna be making is, of course, gonna be our series of leftover meals where you can make dinner for 4 or 5 people and have enough for the following day for the same thing. But tomorrow, we're making the secondary recipe, which is gonna be beef pie. So today it's the beef shanks. We're gonna be using a a beef stock with this. This is not my beef stock. This is just canned beef stock, or you can get them in the, the 4-cup containers. We're also gonna be cooking with wine today. We're gonna be cooking with the 7 Moons wine. This is a red blend. I really like this wine. Not only because it's economical, it's about, I think I paid $10.99 for it at Kroger today. But it's a great everyday wine. What I like about it though is it's full body, but it's not too dry. It's not like you're chewing on sandpaper. It has a nice, beautiful texture, but it's a little on the sweeter side. And it's going to be great in our recipe. You'll notice that the bottle has the 7 phases of the moon. The reason for 7 moons is because there's 7 different grape varietals in this wine. It comes from California's Central Coast and Lodi region, which is probably one of the best places to grow red wine in California. It opens with aromas of ripe red cherries, mocha, baked spice, and you can get some vanilla bean fragrance in there as well. Flavors of ripe strawberry, a little vanilla, and a little bit of raspberry. It's going to go great in and with our recipe today. Our vegetables today are sliced onion, diced celery, and diced carrot, which I peeled first. This is called aromatics, or what the French call mirepoix. Now for the garlic, we're going to be using 4 cloves. So all I did was peel it, and we're just going to give it a nice, fine, thin slice. Our herbs are going to be fresh rosemary, which I have growing out back, and thyme. I took 4 sprigs and tied them up with a piece of string so they're easy to get out. This is called bouquet garni. Now to make the recipe, you can use one of these Dutch ovens if you like. These are kind of expensive and extremely heavy, or you do not have to go that expense and wait. Just use a nice stockpot, the biggest one you have. And to make sure you have a fitting lid. Now we'll start by getting our stockpot hot for about 2 minutes, medium-high heat. In the meantime, we're going to season these 3 lovely beef shanks here with some fresh cracked pepper. Now we're not going to use salt because there's a little bit of salt in our stock and there's a little bit of salt in our wine. Now that our pan is hot, we'll go ahead and add our oil. I'm using grapeseed oil today. It has a higher smoke point than olive oil will. So you're going to get a much better sear. And if you burn olive oil, it's going to add a bitter flavor and kind of scald your flavor of the meat. I'm going to add our shanks to the hot pan. Now be careful, do not overcrowd. I'm only going to go 2 and then do the 3rd one separate. If you put too much in there at once, it's going to cool the pan off and you won't get that lovely sear, which is so vitally important to this dish. It's important not to touch it during that 3 minutes because you want to get that caramelization on the meat and you want to get that beautiful fond on the bottom of the pan, which is going to add great flavor to our sauce. Oh yeah, beautiful color. That's what we're looking for right there. It smells good already. Now that our meat's seared off, we'll go ahead and put it on a plate, that clean plate, and we'll set it aside. Now all of our shanks have got some nice color on them. We're going to set them aside into that same pan with the drippings. We're going to add our onions, 2 onions. This is 3 stalks of celery. This is 3 stalks of carrots, or 3 whole carrots. And our garlic. And we're going to give it a little color. We'll saute these veggies down for about 5 minutes. Now, for flavor reasons, I always put my wine into a decanter. Air is not good for wine when you're storing it, but it's very good for it when you're drinking it. So to add some extra air and flavor to your wines, put it in a decanter. Now our vegetables have been sauteing off for about 5 minutes. Let's add about a cup of this 7 Moons red blend to deglaze that pan. And we're going to simmer the wine down for about 3-4 minutes to reduce it by half and to burn off that alcohol. I hate when that happens. Then we're going to add our juices back from our beef and our beef back into the pan. Then we're going to add just enough beef stock to just cover the top of the beef. Just like that. We're going to add a sprig of our rosemary and our thyme bouquet garni. And we're going to cover this and put it on the lowest setting you have. And we're going to let it simmer for about 2 hours and check for doneness. If it comes apart with a fork, it's ready. If not, let it go for another 45 minutes to an hour. In the meantime, let's relax and enjoy some wine. Well, let's check them out. It's been 2 hours, and as you remember, they weren't that thick to begin with, so we're going to check them for tenderness. And look at that. That is very nice. Delicious. I'll go ahead and remove that thyme bouquet garni. Remove the meat to a bowl and cover with aluminum foil to keep warm. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and reduce our sauce by 1/3 over medium-high heat for about 10 minutes. We'll finish with 2 pats of butter. We'll serve these on some nice fluffy mashed potatoes.